everyone, and welcome back. Today we are going to be going over mono black kind of post rotation. What will it look like? How will this play out? Obviously Bloomburrow could definitely bring cards to mono black. When you're talking about a single color deck, it's definitely a lot more flexible that the new set will bring a card that we will be playing in this deck. It's just kind of hard to wait till that happens, you know, because we obviously got to get through Assassin's Creed, and then we're on to Bloomburrow, and then yada yada yada. August 2nd is on that release date. So what are we trying to do? We are very heavy on kind of the lockdown plan, and we're leaning very hard into Karavak. Karavak being whenever you commit a crime, exile up to one target black card from your graveyard and copy it. You may cast the copy. If you do, you lose 2 life. So there's a lot of cool tricks you get to do with Karavak, but let me just go over the deck a little bit before we talk about some of the neat kind of cutesy tricks you can do with it, or cheeky tricks you can do with it. And that is 3 cut downs, 3 go for the throats, a long goodbye, and shoot the sheriff. I like to diversify here on these kind of cards instead of playing 4 go for the throats, because if they are an artifact deck, for example, we got Simic Cookies, we have Anvil decks, things like that we have to deal with. Go for the throat, obviously can't remove those. Steel Seraph Angel was another one. That's the card I was trying to think of. And these can't remove. With Karavak, we actually kind of in a way have 2 copies of Shoot the Sheriff and 2 copies of Long Goodbye, because Karavak will allow us to cast them from our graveyard later. So these are very nice pickups to have and diversify in this spot. I personally like doing it. If you want to play 4 go for the throats, that's also perfectly fine. And now we're also kind of on a big discard plan as well, with running 3 Duress, 3 Tiny Bones Joins Up, 4 Deep Cavern Bats, 4 Lilies, and 3 Hostile Investigators. Tiny Bones Joins Up, you might notice, might have a little less value than normal in a deck like this, but there's a kind of cool trick you can do with it, and that's kind of one of the reasons we're playing it. But also I like the fact that it can help me just commit a crime immediately when it comes to a Karavak or a Gissa whenever we're trying to get value off of it. Tiny Bones allows our legendary creatures to enter, cause a triggered ability to happen, and then we immediately get that value that we're looking for. Also, Tiny Bones Joins Up is arguably one of the cooler cards to do with Karavak. So if you have one of these in play, and you play Karavak, you know, you commit a crime because that happens right away, you have Tiny Bones Joins Up in your graveyard, you can actually cast that, putting the new one into play, and the legendary rule will apply, causing you to sack one of these, and then the crime will re-happen because Tiny Bones Joins Up enters, targets your opponent again, and you can actually cast this again, so you can get like 3 discards out of like 2 of them, and 4 if you find the 4th one. But the cool trick that you can do with this deck, and a thing that's commonly overlooked whenever you're playing this, so we have a lot of discard, we get our opponent down to no cards in hand, we can actually stop our opponent on their upkeep after they draw, because they don't get to go straight to their main phase. There's a period of time, if you don't know, like after you draw a card, you can actually interact with your opponent. So it has to be an instant speed spell or a flash spell, something like that, in order to get around it. We can remove a creature with like cut down, go for the throat, long goodbye, or shoot the sheriff or something like that. And then Karavak, crime will be punished, the crime will be committed. And we can actually cast Tiny Bones or Duress at instant speed on our opponent's upkeep after they've drawn a card, to potentially take that last card from their hand. So we kind of skip their entire turn outside of their combat phase. So it's a very cool trick that you can do. You can also do it with like Deep Cavern Bat, things like that. Liliana doesn't work because you can't just activate a Planeswalker. But other than that, this is the deck. This is pretty much the game plan. Revolve around Karavak, get as much value as we can. Use Bronco early if we're able to. Use Gissa late if we're able to. And have the rest of the deck stabilize our matches. And again, final note, Takenuma is the only card in this deck that's rotating, so very cool. You can obviously just play extra swamps if you don't want to craft it, or you can experiment with playing maybe a couple copies of Mirrex or something if you really want to. But outside of that, I hope you all enjoy the video. If you do enjoy the video and you enjoy my content, please consider subscribing. Truly helps me out a ton, and it kind of lets me know I'm doing the right thing with the channel at times. So other than that, let's go ahead and dive into the games. My opponent goes first. I have 1 black mana to operate, at least looks like 1 black mana. This can kind of interact whenever we name human, for sure. Mono red, the deck that's everywhere today because it top 8'd the challenge like 3 versions of the deck did. We just go ahead and answer this now. I don't want to play around the monster strays, to be honest with you, because most of the time they'll play land, they'll put Ancestral Anger on it, and then they'll put a Monster Strays in response to the cut down, and then I'm really upset and sad. I have Shoot the Sheriff though. That does not count. as part of that kind of equation. But for me, I think it's Deep Cavern Bat time with only 3 cards in hand. Shock, Lightning Strike, blah, blah, blah. Godric, they have to rip a land, but if I know anything about Magic the Gathering, they'll rip a land right off the top here. Could have taken the Shock to make their turn more expensive. Now they can technically play another 1-mana spell, where if it was vice versa, they couldn't. A little bit of a punt by me, but that's okay. Second black land is actually good here. I just pass, shoot the sheriff, because they'll probably lightning strike me, and then I can play Liliana, or do I Deep Cavern Bat, look at their hand, because who knows what they took, or do I Liliana minus? I think it is, tough looks. I'm gonna pass. Hold up, shoot the sheriff. I forget what outlaws are. I hate when there's cards like this. Lightning striking me, please. Sweet. Now we know they're kind of mana out. The only real problem is we know the rest of their hands, like Magic the Gathering cards that we don't want to deal with. That's bat. Let me look. Sure, I guess. Pass. I promise I don't want to bring this up. They're gonna find a land eventually. Okay, that might be how they find a land, but it'll be okay for this turn. Nope. Sure. My turn. Combat. This one. Sick.
Enough with the mysteries.
This one.
Sacrifices must be made.
Turn. At some point, I'll get Karavak in, and I'll probably play another Deep Cavern Bat. We knew it was Slick Shot Show Off because it didn't cast anything last turn, so it had to be a 2-mana. I guess it could have been the other one with Ward, but take out my Lily. Makes sense to me. Go for the throw. It's pretty sick. We do human here. I cast this. And then I just go for the throat and then cut down a creature next turn. Here. Pass. Land. Hey. Nice. Maybe too little, too late here. This one. I submit 0 on those ones. Get those off the board. Now, obviously, they have Godric this turn. Ooh, no, they don't. I get to take their entire hand now. Boom. Yep. I will do Liliana, though. Because Liliana can repeatedly do it. And then, of course, we plus.
But I'm taking the credit when you drop it.
This one. Okay. My opponent said I've had enough. Very cool. Very cool. We'll take the dub. My opponent goes first. My hand is like, okay. I don't know what we'll draw from here till the end of time. They mauled, so honestly, I wasn't looking. Not gonna lie, I was looking at my phone. But a maul into a Tiny Bones joins up feels pretty good. I'm playing 8-rack. Oh. Rotation here yet, dude, please. All these will be gone, by the way, chat. All of them. Negate? Doesn't matter, really? I mean, it does. I guess I should have taken it to minus here. But I just wanted to get rid of Ill Time, to be honest. Am I getting Whirl Soul Rage for one? Oh, please. No. Didn't do that. So smart. It's really do be sucking that I don't really want to mill them. You. I can't cast that, or I would. Oh, good thing we did it. Sometimes it pays off. There's a very good chance they play a tap land here. And then I could play... What do I want to play here? Come on, World Soul. You do it. Sick. They're wanting to sack their Aftermath, and I haven't removed it yet, so they just feel like it's probably fine to do so. That's 3 World Soul Rages, by the way. If you ever wonder how you lose to the deck, there's your answer. Human on this. Tap for colorless. We play Liliana. We minus here, getting this creature out of the way. We commit a crime. We cast this to rest because we know they have a negate in hand. And we know their last card's something. Fires of Victory. I will take the negate. Fires of Victory, not really going to do a ton here. Now I hit. Call it a day. And then we're looking to play Takenuma, play Hostile Investigator, and then plus Liliana. Okay, nice. We discard cards. No, you concede. Fair enough. Very sick. I'll take it. Oh, sure. Bronco. Land pass. I'm gonna get Lightning Helix next turn. What a curve. Now we only want spells, kind of. We want spells when we draw for turn. We want lands when we draw with Bronco. Yeah, this is gonna be Boros Burn. It's gonna be a tough day. Plus, get rid of my cut down probably. Cut down's like a fine card, but I don't think it's necessarily good enough. Like, I don't think it's better than automatically hitting our landed Shieldred this turn. You like to play with fire, my or Liliana? You no? You like don't have to. I'm just saying you could. Eric's. Uh-huh.
You chose the wrong day to cross me.
Uh-huh. Liliana, honestly, at that point, you did your job, sweetheart. You're good. If they're gonna use an in the festivities and a lightning strike to remove my Liliana, all more power to us. Shieldred, you gained 5 life and took 2 cards. Sure. Now it's all going to come down to whether or not I draw a good threat, or they start Mirix killing me. Okay, it's kind of that thing can block. I guess if I was going to draw a land, that one's fine. Takenuma is obviously better. Sure. I can long goodbye that. Okay. Yeah, because then I can still bring up my Foundry. So Liliana here.
Nobody knows Dominaria's shadows like me.
Just want to put more loyalty on. I know I lose my long goodbye, but I can just bring up the Foundry and block regardless. I can't activate Mirix, right? Yeah, so I'll long goodbye this now. Now I want to use it. Because I didn't really care if they were going to just make another token.
Do not touch me again.
One. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm not.
The Shuffler's fine, baby. Play Lightning Strike, play with fire, Lightning Strike, play with fire, Lightning Strike, play with fire. The Shuffler's fine, baby. If anybody told you otherwise, they're lying. All right. Well, here's the funny part. They don't have any more play with fires. Dude, it's so hard to tell with my brain. They have one more lightning strike left in the deck. They obviously, I think, play Helix as well. But, ooh, land drop. Not good. Not good, opponent. Liliana? That's pretty good. Plus.
A fight? And you think you can win?
No.
Drop it.
No. Sure. Mirix is kind of going to be hard for us to deal with. We kind of need a Caravac online. So I could play something like a Shieldred just to, like, blow this game out of proportion. But okay. This is an artifact, though. Something that we do have to be careful of. Will you attack? You have to read your own card. Nice. They 100% just read their own card. Which is fine. That's totally fine. I get it. I've definitely done it before. I just thought it was funny of all times to read our own card. Now was the time we chose. I could make him sack a creature, I guess. But in the festivities becomes so good. If I can ult this Liliana, like, sure.
You won't be outsmarting me.
Nope. We pass. Caravac. You'd be pretty sick. Land. I think I take one. Okay. I didn't know how that was going to work. Sure. That card's pretty good. Gix. Now Gix is going to be hard for my opponent to beat. I know I can draw here and then plus Liliana, but there's also an option of minusing here. Yes, I would like to do this. With that said, I'll just plus. And I get a hostile investigator token. Cool. I kind of forgot that this was me as well as my opponent, but either way, it works out. I'm pretty happy with the results. Will you be able to take out my Liliana here? It's within ult range. Definitely going to do some block. Or blocks, attacks, blah, blah, blah. So, Mirix, these tokens will deal 5. I know that. I'll bring up this Foundry. And the festivity is going to suck. Here and then here. I'm keeping my Gix alive. I don't care. And I don't have a way to keep it where Liliana will ult anyway, but I can keep it at 3 loyalty. So I could technically minus if I'd like. Oh, second Mirix? Brutal. Oh. 4, 5, 6. Yeah, we're gonna do it like this. Guess I can wait, right? See if I didn't want to do removal things. Combat. Yeah, this, I suppose. I'll just play it slow. Don't need to get too hasty. I feel like I'm in the favorite spot here. Yeah. Go for the throat. Pretty sick. I can now clean up a lot of the board, I think. Yeah, because I have a cut down in there. Here. 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 I want to play the Bronco here. Nah. I think we just wait. Attack a creature. Now, here's the troubling part, is that go for the throat doesn't really do anything here. Sure. They can still only make one of these a turn, so it's not necessarily the worst thing in the world. Land, now they can do it twice. My opponent is gaming. I'll draw. Do I have enough for lethal? Great question, team. I believe in me too. I have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So I don't have enough. Sure. I'm going to show everybody the cool trick that my deck can do. I will plus. I will get rid of this.
You won't be outsmarting me.
I will be moving to combat. I will be barreling all these but Gix. It's not lethal anyway, so I'm just going to attack like this. So this gets me pretty close. I'm probably just going to draw one card. Decline the rest. Or take the action. My bad. Sure. In my turn. I'll make 2 Mirror's tokens. I've been waiting to do this like upkeep thing for a very long time. And the first time I do it, they're going to have like an instant speed spell. That's going to suck. So we let them draw here. And then we cut down the creature. And with Karavak on the line, we then cast a rest. Ah, there's a pause. But if it's a sorcery speed spell, this works. Because Karavak does not care. We get to ignore timing restrictions. I'm a 0. Ooh. When a source you control deals non-combat damage to a creature equal to its toughness. Okay. My dress did nothing. What is up, opponent? Yeah, so right now they need a burn spell for this. Whenever a source you control deals non-combat damage to a creature equal to its toughness, draw a card. Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting, but fine. What's your play, opponent? I kind of have lethal on the backswing. I do, technically. They don't attack me. I clue. Go for the throat. Okay. 6. I'll just show them. They can stay if they want, but I'm going to show them that I have lethal. Sure. Combat. Lethal. No cards in their hand. Very cool. I believe that they were playing Covert Go Blue's list of burn that I saw the other day. But we come out on top, and kind of interestingly enough, I'm not entirely sure. Somebody could count the damage here, but like, I think only one lightning strike could play with fire hit me in the face. So there's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 damage or whatever. Maybe a little bit more, 12. A lot of, it was a lot. And then they played the best creature for those cards after they played them all. I go first. 2 land draws, and this hand's like really, really good. So I'll keep. Play this. Most likely this is going on human regardless. Yes. Human. In turn. We're going to long goodbye the warden. That's rotating. This is unfair. Unfair. All I'm saying. Okay. That one, not rotating. That's fine. They were looking to play Inspector and looking to scry off of those, but we get around it. Very cool. I guess I'll look at their hand, take their knight. And then we will hopefully not die. That'd be a very cool addition to what our hand is. Be pretty sick. I could see them like taking a turn off here, knowing I missed a land, cycling a clue, and then a map, but never mind. They drew a case. I'm gonna concede. It's just not worth my time. Not hitting a second or a third land, and I have to stare at my opponent who's going to play an Epicure, do a knight, and then grab more creep. It's literally just not worth the time to even try to pretend like I'm gonna win that game. Hey, nice. We'll keep this. Not a bad or long goodbye and Liliana. Is what it is. If they're Convoke going to be our hardest matchup in general, but it is what it is. We'll keep. Can't imagine you're actually Jund. Are you domain? Liliana's pretty good against domain. You're a pile of Magic the Gathering cards. Are you the Cascade one? No, you're this deck. Okay. I'm not gonna lie to you. All these suck. Oh boy, I'm gonna take 3 steps ahead. The only problem is they're gonna play Cornucopia, Fading Hope, bounce this, I assume. But then my Liliana gets a ton of value here. Cornucopia, sure. Fading Hope, my Deep Cavern Bat, maybe? No. I mean, obviously I get to play it again. It's kind of like the point. They're most likely going to do it on my instep. But this one? I think this one's good. Out plus, Long Goodbye is the card that we get rid of. And I have a Cavern in hand to name Human, so my Gissa can come down. I think Long Goodbye is the answer. I haven't seen this deck do like anything else. But this is a deck that I think for the most part at times we can outvalue. And Atraxa is obviously pretty annoying, but
Don't overthink things.
discard. Discard a land, so I assume there's another land on top. And then we might see a Roxane, sure. And if they Roxane me, then I Liliana minus, play other Liliana plus. Seems like a good idea to me. Because most likely this rock's going to come in and shoot my Liliana. And then we have Gissa to cause a lot of problems.
You know, I
Hostile Investigator is also kind of rad. I think Liliana is significantly better because it's a rogue detective. Okay. Yep. Minus here. Could have used my go for the throat, but I'm minusing there.
Haven't you ever heard of space?
Play this on Human. Actually, now that I think about it, the Hostile Investigator might be better. Because Hostile Investigator is going to make me a clue token that I can draw with. They get rid of their counterspell anyway. Now that I have a counter. Also, always forget this isn't a human, by the way. Sure. I'd like to move to combat. I'd like to attack. Does attacking work? It does. Okay. What if I cast Deep Cavern Bat? Cavern Bat enters. We look. Removal. Tear asunder. Kicking. Sure. Can't imagine go for the throws like a necessity this turn, so I'm gonna try to hit a land here. Good sheriff, sure. Because like even if it is like Atraxa, for example, like they still have to play it. Like they're gonna get the ETB and everything anyway, so it's kind of not like I can really stop it per se. Combat. Oh yeah. Uncounterable. Seems pretty good. And if I start committing crimes, seems better. Like an ill-time explosion, obviously discard a 4-mana or higher card if they have another one. Or you can Terra Sunder and pay the ward. Sure. Okay. Boom. Target you. Holy cow, dude. They're just drawing really, really well right now. Every spell's been usable at curve. Alright, let's see another ill-time explosion. Now that you have one card in hand again. No. Combat. Attack. I won't lie, this is a good draw. This one. Instantly resolved. Okay. Plus.
Those who get in my way tend to regret it.
Says what? Ward 2? By the way, talked about having crazy draws. Immediately another crazy draw, by the way. Sure, I guess.
We all have things we'd rather forget.
I can bring up my land and block. Watch them have like another abrade to shoot my land. I'm so ready for it. Hey, just have it that draw, please. Okay. Or it's like even more cornucopias or something, you know? This one. What do you have? About to be on site. Yes. I would prefer you just stop drawing Magic the Gathering cards, please.
Off you go.
Oh, do you know what just happened, by the way? Oh, I forgot that that was going to happen. So if you're wondering why I didn't draw anything, so this works like Cryptic Command did in the past, where if you actually plus on the, or hold on, I'm talking and I'm losing value. Good job, Brick. I could have just drew a card or made a clue. But if you choose to target something with 3 steps ahead, and that target no longer exists, and one of your other modes doesn't require a target, it actually makes the spell fizzle, which is incredibly funny. So they're 3 steps ahead, which was very good, ends up fizzling because I took away what they were copying. So they didn't get to do the draw part. Normally never comes up, but I even forgot it was going to happen, then it just happened. I like the plus here. What would you like to do? You're looking at your graveyard, and I'm not a fan of that. What do we have? I guess, my dude. I'm genuinely surprised you had a Shigeki.
You won't be outsmarting me.
This one? Force you to waste your Terra Sunder. And you might hit off your ill time. But like now Liliana just does become a little bit more threatening. Wow. I like to Besage you. I feel like if we were going to use Terra Sunder and cast Ill Time, I'd probably just hold Besage you as maybe like a second sack, like a second discard off of Ill Time. Maybe they're just looking to get rid of Liliana. Yeah, they determined Liliana being the annoyance here, so.
Fine. I'll take my zombies and leave.
Caustic Bronco. They don't know the top card. I just realized they have 53 cards in their deck and they're drawing this well. Holy cow. I'm playing the Bronco. We're kind of all in. This is their weak spot. This is the point where we have to do it, I think. Dead card, please. Obviously, sometimes you have to pray that your opponent draws a really bad card. And this is one of those times. My turn. This one. Sandbag land. Very sick. At this point, I'm at 28. I'm just attacking. Caustic Bronco is not guaranteed to hit, but... yeah, because you got to remember, if I saddled this, it wasn't guaranteed to happen. So... I guess I just hold. Man, if I'd have lost to somebody just unironically playing like 80 cards. How many cards were you playing? 10? I can't tell because the leave the match button's there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, so that's 10. They have one in there. So there's 11. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Plus 51. Yeah, I wasn't ready for this game today. Okay, we're finally here, and this is where I'm at with Mono Black at post rotation situation. Takanumas obviously are gone, but you can just play more swamps, or you can maybe play more Myrics. Something in between. If you feel like you want to play more things that can interact, you could also decide to play like a Conduit to like Surveil, things like that. But Takanuma is obviously good, but it will be the thing that's leaving from this deck that is not in here. Everything else is rotation safe. So right away, we got quite the removal package. I'm on kind of a lot here whenever I have 3 cutdowns. So you go for the throats, long goodbye, and shoot the sheriff. Kind of trying to keep these a little more diverse while it is best of one, especially when the Karavek is our main card here, because Karavek can actually help us recast these. And if shoot the sheriff is absolutely what we need because they are playing artifacts, then we can at least get 2 cards out of this, because with Karavek we can cast it again. And for us to trigger the kind of crime situation a little bit more consistently, because remember, we will be losing Glissa. So I had to kind of figure out how we're supposed to commit crimes a lot more frequently. And that's kind of just using Tiny Bones joins up. It gets the same value as, say, the other one did when we were playing Ords off Braids. But Tiny Bones joins up, comes in, it enters. We play Karavek, Legendary, triggers this. We play Shieldred, it triggers it. Play Gissa, it triggers it. Gix, it triggers it. And then Hostile Investigator is not, but Hostile does it itself. So we're just using this to be a little bit more discard heavy along with the rest's at the same time. And then obviously we have the deep cavern bats. So we are pretty focused on committing crimes. Also, Tiny Bone joins up actually works in a very cool way when it comes with Karavek. If you have a Tiny Bone joins up in play and then you play a second one with Karavek, the legendary rule applies first. So you sack one and you can target your opponent, which will then trigger the crime off Karavek, and then you can use Tiny Bones. Another cool thing with Tiny Bones, if you're, as you saw in one of our plays that we made where we tried to duress our opponent on upkeep and take their card, you can actually do that with just Tiny Bones, because they'll draw that one card and say, for example, it's a creature and duress doesn't get it. Tiny Bone joins up, will enter the battlefield, forcing them to discard whatever final cards in their hand, and you doing a legendary enchantment at instant speed to make your opponent discard is pretty sick. So Karavek kind of being a baller in that way. We're in 3 Caustic Broncos, kind of a 2-drop. We're pretty heavy on the lower end kind of stuff, as you can kind of see how many 2-drops we do play. So I did trim down one here to make it a little bit easier to kind of progress towards our later game plan. As you can kind of tell, we're so heavy on 1s and 2s, and we kind of lighten up as the train goes higher, but that is kind of because of Caustic Bronco. We want to make sure whenever we are drawing a card, when it's not saddled, we're not accidentally killing ourselves in matchups that it matters. But other than that, we have the Hostile Investigator. I love this as a 3 of. I almost want to play 4 if we're already dedicated to this much discard, but I don't think it's necessarily a necessity to do so. I think 3 is a pretty good number. Also, it's a mythic, so it's kind of hard to say, like, yeah, craft all 4, haha, you know. But other than that, we also have Gissa in here is kind of our very top end. Genuinely, this is pretty hard to ever get started at any one point, kind of because the turn you play it, board wipes are obviously going to be active for your opponent, or this is going to be the #1 priority threat that your opponent's going to remove. But whenever you have a card like that your opponent is, when I see that card, I must kill it, it's not necessarily a bad thing. That just goes to show how powerful and how out of control the card can get. So whenever you get to play this and have a Tiny Bones of play and trigger it immediately, it works out pretty well, because then you don't lose the value. You just get these zombies right away, because the ETB trigger will happen and it'll target before they can target this. A crime will be committed, and then the trigger will happen, and Gissa will get these zombies out, which is cool. We make a lot of threats that way. So other than that, I hope you all enjoyed the video. I'm going to call it there, and I'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.